Om. 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 Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswati Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Janakalyani Naratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidparam Sadgurum Brahmavidparam. We'll do our Gita Dhanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashaധ്യായിനി Amba Tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad-gite Bhavatveshini Namostate Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Phallarvindayatapatra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Tela Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vitraikaparnaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gita-mృతదుహే Namaha. Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gita-mృతం Mahata Vasudevasatam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Okay, welcome back. We are seeing Bhagavad Gita chapter 17, and we just finished the section where Bhagavan Sri Krishna has described the three types of tapas from the point of view of the instruments that we use. So we have seen Bhagavan describe body tapas, we have seen him describe speech tapas, and we have seen him describe mental tapas. Tapas at the level of body, speech, and mind. We saw also, for example, body will be worship of Deva, Dvija, Guru, Prajna, all wise people, Shaucham, cleanliness, Arjavam, straightforwardness, or no unnecessary movement, like that. Then Brahmacharya, meaning moderation, ahimsa, non-violence, like that. That will all be tapas of body. Then tapas of speech, speech that is unagitating, that is not intending to cause agitation in another person's mind, that is truthful, that is beneficial, that is loving and kind. That will be considered as tapas of speech. And then mental tapas, we saw it had things like manaprasada, purity of mind, gentleness of mind that comes out in our face, steadfastness, control of mind, then in purity of intention, right? All these different aspects. Well, and monam also comes in there. Being able to keep our mind quiet comes out through our words also, but it starts at the mind. So we saw this in detail, and I'm going to put an asterisk on detail because really you can talk about each one for a whole class or more. But we talked about each verse in a class. Huh? Okay, having said that now, you sometimes, we forget why exactly are we doing this? Like, which chapter are we in? Like, where? I know chapter 17, but like, what exactly is this chapter? Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. That's the name of this chapter. It's talking about the three types of Shraddha. And because of the fact that we're trying to understand the three types of Shraddha, Bhagavan talks about our three types of worship, three types of yajna, three types of food we eat. Here are the three types of tapas. Next is going to come dhanam to allow us to get a sense of what Shraddha we have, whether our Shraddha is noble, whether it is mediocre, or whether it is ignoble, because that will determine the quality of our life. It will determine the joy we have. All of that is determined by our Shraddha. So we analyze ourselves in this chapter to understand where we are and how we can move up. We also had a really nice discussion on guilt at the end of class last week. Now, keeping in mind these three types of tapas, we have to think, what does it look like to practice these in a sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic way? So now we enter the section on sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic tapas. Okay, so now this is verse number 17. श्रद्धया परया तप्तम्
श्रद्धया परया तप्तं
तपस्तत्त्रिविधं नरैः
तपस्तत्त्रिविधं नरैः
अफलाकाङ्क्षिभिर्युक्तैः
अफलाकाङ्क्षिभिर्युक्तैः
सात्विकं no,
सात्विकं
सात्विकं परिचक्षते.
सात्विकं परिचक्षते.
Those who are in Sanskrit class, you might see some words that featured in your text. They came from here. It was chapter 17. Okay, anyway, that side note. Tapas tat tapas trividham taptam. That three types of tapas which is done narehi by people. How is it done? But that is sattvic tapas, the three types of tapas, right? How is it done? Shraddhaya. Oh no, let me do the unbearable. That tapas, which is done by people, which is of the three types, at the body level, speech level, mind level, sattvikam parichakshate. It is predominantly sattvic. How is it described as sattvic? What would constitute as sattvic? Here. One, shraddhaya paraya. It is done with great faith first. Then, aphalakangshibihi, without desiring any results. And yuktehi, it is done in a integrated, absorbed way. So now we'll see those three words. First of all, shraddhaya paraya, with great faith. Meaning, please, with great faith, meaning with great sattvic faith. Not just any faith. With great sattvic faith, it is done. Now, that means that someone is not doing this body, speech, and mind tapas because of any kind of pressure from society. First of all, like Devata, Puja, people over here will say, oh, if I don't replace my jandi, then they will think I'm a bad Hindu. So then that's the intention for doing the puja, because, oh my God, my jandi has gotten old, not because Shastra says I should do puja. Right? So the Shraddha it is done with Shraddha, understanding that what Shastra is saying has my welfare in mind. It is good for me. I want to do it with reverence, like that. Not for any other reason. Or not because of fear, like if I don't do this, something bad will happen. So I do it because I have faith that it is good for me. That is why I do it. That is the Shraddha we're talking about. I understand it is in my welfare, it is in my benefit. Shastra said it. Shastra is like a parent who cares about me. And whether it feels nice or not, I'm going to do it because it's good. Okay. Aphalakangshibihi. Aphalakangshibihi is not desiring any result. You know, in one place, Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya says, we're not even supposed to desire moksha. Meaning, see, well, let's think about it and we'll come back to that. How is it possible to not desire any result? Results are a byproduct of any action. You cannot do an action that will not have a result. So any action I do, I know subconsciously that a result is going to come. But what is being talked about here, and it has been talked about since chapter 2, like all the way in chapter 2, Bhagavan started, Ma phaleshu kadachana, ma karma phalahetur bhuhu. Don't be someone who hankers after results. It comes in chapter 2. And it comes in like every single other chapter after that in some way, shape, or form. This sentiment of don't act, keeping in consideration the results, is a sentiment that is pervasive through Gita. We're supposed to focus on the action, not on the result. The problem with focusing on the result is one, our mind is in the future, so that brings anxiety. And our mind is not on the action, so because I can only have my mind on either or. If my mind is on the result, it's not on the action. And if it's not on the action, then the action is not done with perfection. And so it is tapas to say, I'm not thinking about the result, I'm thinking about the action. The other thing is, and I think we had talked about this in this class before, if we consider, if our mind is on the results, then what happens is we're using tapas as a means to get a result that we want. And every time you use something as a means, it means you don't value the means. And if you can get the end in any other way, then you're ready to drop the difficult means and take the easy means. So you don't value what tapas itself can give you. You value the result of doing that tapas. That point is clear? Meaning, tapas itself is supposed to be valuable to me. It is not just a means. I'm not just supposed to think I'm doing tapas because I'm going to get something out of it, but the tapas itself is valuable to me. So I'm supposed to stop looking at it as a means and I'm supposed to enjoy it as its own thing. It has its own value. So I have, for example, I have a value for doing puja for Deva, Dvija, Guru, Prajna, like that. I have reverence for them. I care about the environment because I know I just have a value for caring about it, like that, right? It itself is the end. It is not a means for me to get something. Yes, I will get something, but when I'm doing it, my mind is not supposed to be focused on, oh, I'm going to get something. That's the point, huh? Aphalakangshibihi, my mind is not supposed to be hankering after what result it is going to get, whether positive or negative. Huh? And like I said, Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya at some place says, even moksha should not be in our mind, because that is also an anxiety. I'm doing this for moksha, I'm doing this for moksha. I'm doing this because it itself is valuable. I keep my mind right here in the present. It's a very difficult thing to try to imagine doing, but we start. Now, how do we start? Because right now we think, what am I going to get for every single thing that we do? So it starts by shifting from the seeking external results to seeking internal purification of mind. So the first step is, okay, instead of my attention being on external results, okay, when I do this, I'm going to get money or I'm going to get fame or I'm going to get whatever. Now my attention is, I'm going to get purity of mind. I'm going to get spiritual growth. I'm going to get peace of mind. First step. And then eventually, with that peace of mind, I'm supposed to transition to stop thinking also about the fact that, oh, I'm going to get peace of mind. And I'm just supposed to do it knowing that it is valuable. Interesting, very something to think about. Is not easy at all, but we are supposed to get there one day. If we don't drop the desire for moksha, we will not even get moksha. Did you know that? There's that story for, yeah, there's that story about uh not Mahats. You know Swami Akhandanandaji Maharaj, great saint of recent past only. He was walking down one day, maybe in Vrindavan. True story. And someone who was a sadhaka came to him and said, you know, I'm struggling. I'm meditating. I'm trying my best, but I'm just not able to go that last mile. I'm just not able to to become absorbed in the self. You know, it's just not happening. That last stage is not happening. And Swami Akhandanandaji Maharaj said, you have to drop even the desire to merge with the self. You have to drop even the desire to get moksha. And so this sadhaka now sits and tries to, well, he sits and he meditates again. And when Swami Akhandanandaji Maharaj is going back, he sees him and he can tell really he was able to drop that desire. Huh? We cannot even get moksha if we hold on to that desire in the last. But to get there, I mean, we have to first want purity of mind and then all the other things that come, right? But I'm telling you what, the highest level, Shraddha, that is what it is. I'm doing it without even that desire. Huh? Yeah, I know. I see the smiles and I'm like, yeah, I understand what you're feeling. Okay. Yuktehi. Yukta is someone whose mind is absorbed or steadfast. Or, you know, yukta comes from yuj, same root as yoga, to be united, where the mind and the intellect are aligned. You know, usually the intellect has a value for one thing, and then the mind says do something else, right? Yukta is where the mind also stops saying, let's go somewhere else, let's go do something else. And the mind is also aligned with the intellect. That person has sattvic shraddha because the whole personality is moving in that same direction. The mind stays where the intellect is. And when the mind stays where the intellect is, then you become steadfast in the thing that you're doing. That comes with integrity. So this is called sattvic tapas. It is not a thing that we do, like you saw body tapas and all the things we do. Here it is not a thing that we do. It is an attitude of faith, of practicing with selflessness, like that. Huh? This is sattvic tapas. So let us see, we'll see Rajasic and Tamasic tapas, and then we'll see all three of them together again. So let us see now Rajasic. सत्कारमानपूजार्थम्
सत्कारमानपूजार्थं
तपोदम्भेन चैव यत्
तपोदम्भेन चैव यत्
क्रियते तदिह प्रोक्तम्
क्रियते तदिह प्रोक्तम्
राजसं चलमध्रुवम्.
राजसं चलमध्रुवम्.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Tad iha proktam. That is called here as Rajasam. Uh, Rajasam. Huh? That is called Rajasic tapas. Over here, Tadiha proktam Rajasam. This is called Rajasic tapas. What? Which is Satkara, done for good reception, to be acknowledged. Huh? Mana, for honor. Pujartha, to be worshipped. So, for good reception, for honor, to be worshipped, to be acknowledged, all of that. Meaning, well, you know, if I do this and then people will call me the goat. You're the goat, the greatest of all time. If I do this, then I don't know why they made it goat. Anyways, if I do this, then, when I go there, I'll get a mala. If I do this, maybe I'll win the Nobel Prize. If I do this, my name will go in the Guinness World Book of Records. If I do this, the government will confer an award on me. If it doesn't even have to be bad things. I mean, if I am honest, now see, honesty is a good thing, right? But the thought in mind is if I'm honest, then people will trust me and they'll give me their business and then I'll make lots of money. So in the mind, the there's a intention to get some kind of name, fame, recognition, seniority, superiority, all of that. I'm doing this to get that kind of thing. And that is what is in my mind when I'm doing what I'm doing. I speak for that reason. I pray for that reason. Um, I, I do monam for that reason, whatever it is. I do all of that for some kind of name, fame, recognition, some kind of goal I want. Dampena, with hypocrisy or to show off. Some people will say, I'm fasting since like a week, or I fast every Monday during Shravan. I don't eat a single thing, or whatever people might say. Huh? So we say we're fasting for Bhagavan, but those same people are thinking in their mind, you know, it's good, I'll get to lose some weight. So we're saying one thing and we're thinking another thing. you know, you know, no, it's a really true thing, is it not? So many people who fast, they have in their mind, oh, I'm also going to lose weight. Huh? Yes, it's Janmashtami, but I get to lose weight or I get to reset my eating habits or I get to whatever. That's called to that there's pretense in there, isn't it? Means there's something you're looking for, some kind of external recognition or some kind of other goal. Dambhena, with hypocrisy, or to show off. Hypocrisy. I'm hypocritical to my own self. I don't only have to be hypocritical to others. There's hypocrisy to my own self also. Uh, so actually, this is a big disease nowadays. You ask the next generation what they want to be, and the top thing is they want to be influencers, influential speakers. They want to be TikTok. What is it? What is it called? TikTok influencers, YouTube influencers. I want to inspire people, but with what? Like to inspire, you have to have done something, no? You have to have achieved something, and then only that will inspire others. People want to inspire just by talking silly things nowadays. Huh? Empty talk only. And I don't understand how they can go to the gym and exercise and eat and study, and the whole time they have their phone on them and showing people what they're doing, and people also watch. I can't wrap my head around it. Like, oh God. Anyways, that's its own thing, huh? But hypocrisy, meaning and showing off. There's an intention for other people to appreciate what I'm doing. There's an intention for other people to see what I'm doing. But that is called Rajasic tapas. I'm still doing it. I'm still putting in great effort and all of that. But it is Rajasic. Huh? And Chalam and Adhrivam. Chalam and Adhrivam, it's fickle and it's very temporary. That's what that means. You know, Rajasic tapas will be stuff like students' concentration. Have you seen students who procrastinate? They're able to pull their concentration together so well at exam time. In 24 hours, they achieve what they couldn't have achieved in 24 weeks of the semester. Have you seen people like that? Stay up all night and listen to all the lectures and study and memorize everything and go there. And can they do this at other times? No. Is it not serious tapas? What they're doing in the 24 hours? It's a serious tapas. Okay? But are they doing it what are they doing it for? Well, to pass, not to learn. Nobody can learn really in a 24-hour cramming session, right? So they're not doing the tapas to learn, they're doing it to get a grade. Is it not? So then that will be to get some result that they're doing it. Huh? And it's and it's is it not temporary, meaning um they're not going to remember it in a few days. Forget few days. As soon as they're done the exam, forgotten, gone. All the effort, all the tapas that went into that, down the drain. Chalam, adruvam, fickle, temporary, like that. Huh? The other way that it's temporary is if someone engages in rajasic tapas, the respect that they get can also be temporary. You know, teams, sports teams that go out and play for the purpose of recognition. If their team wins the match, you see the kind of reception that they get. Huh? And if the team loses the match, you see also the kind of recognition that they get. Especially if the country really wanted you to win. You better not go home. Yeah. The other thing is that, when we engage in tapas with a rajasic mindset, there's no guarantee that what we're working on, we will actually get the results of that because results are not in our control, right? Like somebody works really, really hard. If the intention of working really, really hard at work is to get a promotion, that is why they're working hard. All the tapas they're doing is so that, okay, my boss recognizes me and I get a promotion or I get a raise. And then you don't get the promotion and someone else gets it, or you don't get a raise because of some financial limitation, then that's not nice. So there again, chalam adhrubam, temporary, no guarantee like that. So rajasic tapas would be a person works hard, they put effort in. It is great tapas, but the intention is I want something out of it. Whether it is something for me, whether whether it is to show other people or if it is to show my own self. I want something out of it. Hmm? That is considered mediocre. That is a mediocre way of approaching life. Now, we lose out on the joy that we could have gotten doing it in a sattvic way. So this is rajasic. Okay, now let us see tamasic and then we'll come back. This is the rajasic, then what is tamasic going to be? मूढग्राहे नात्मनो यत्
मूढग्राहेण मात्मनो यत्
पीडया क्रियते तपः
पीडया क्रियते तपः
परस्योत्सादनार्थं वा
परस्योत्साधनार्थं वा
तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्.
तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्.
Tat tamasam udahritam. That is called tamas, tamasic. What? Yat tapaha kriyate. That tapas which is done, and then the rest of the verse is the list. Mudha grahena. Mudha grahena means under some kind of foolish, deluded, wrong notion. If I do puja, God will bless me. If I don't do, he will punish me. Wrong notion. I can do this. Oh no, revenge will come. I can do this puja to take revenge on another person. Have you seen Mahabharata is full of that? Huh? Bhishma goes and brings Amba, Ambika, Ambalika, and then Amba is like, okay, now I have to live the rest of my life to take revenge on Bhishma. And then she does that. And then Dronacharya goes to get something from Drupada, and then Drupada insults him, and he decides that he has to spend his life getting revenge on Drupada. So he goes and trains the Pandavas to go and capture Drupada, and then Drupada is like, oh my God, now I have to do something. And then he goes and does Yagnya to get Drishtadyumna, and then on and on and on, like that kind of thing. Revenge only they want after one another. I'm going to do this so I can get revenge. I'm going to do this so I can get revenge. That will fall under tamasic tapas. Mura graha. You're holding on to a wrong notion that I can do something and that will show another person. It will, you know, like that. Atmanaha pidaya, or it causes torture to oneself. And this kind of thing, we've talked about this, it had come up before. It doesn't have to be in front of someone else also. A person can torture themselves by themselves, alone. If it is torture of the body, it is considered tamasic tapas. We're not supposed to torture our body, huh? Because our body is a gift from Bhagavan. We talked about that. Sadhana dhama mocha karadvara. It is a board for sadhana. It is a gateway to our moksha. We're supposed to take care of it, not supposed to torture it. In Ashtavakra Gita, there's a line that describes how a person does not get, by struggling or not by struggling, a person doesn't get peace. It is by understanding that a person gets peace. So, tamasic tapas is not going to bring peace. There's no understanding in that tamasic tapas. There's only physical infliction of unnecessary pain. Unnecessary. Actually unnecessary. And then parasya utsadanartham. The last reason, the last thing in the tamasic tapas is to destroy another person. Every Puranic story has a version of this. Have you seen? Or leave Puranas also. Every movie with a hero and a villain also has this. The villain works really, really, really hard. That is tapas. And they spend years and years and years plotting some kind of revenge. And all of that is to get some power over the other person or to harm the other person. Is it not? All black magic and they call it all different things in different countries. Obia and juju and all of this kind of stuff. All of this is, I want to do this kind of tapas so that I can control another person, make another person suffer. That is called tamasic tapas. Okay. Now, see, sattvic is there's no desire for an outcome. Rajasic, the person wants something for themselves. Tamasic, the person either tortures themselves or wants to destroy another person. So you can see the devolution. What is it called? Devolvement. I don't know what that word is. I always forget it. But from sattvic to tamasic. Now, the interesting thing, if you see, is most of us in the world will fall under which bracket? Do you know a lot of people that do tamasic tapas? No. So tamasic tapas is not so common in the world. Okay, good. Luckily, tamasic is not so common. Huh? Then sattvic tapas is also not so common. People do with no desire in their mind, understanding the greatness and the glory of what they're doing, and that's it. That also no. Most of us will do rajasic tapas. Right? Most of us will fall under the rajasic tapas bracket. Now, we have to then understand, okay, my tapas is rajasic. What can I do to slowly move it in the direction of sattva? So we're not even considering tamasic. I mean, if you're doing tamasic, you please switch it to rajasic. but most of the world will be engaged in rajasic tapas. Actually, most of the world is engaged in rajas all the time, is it not? The whole world, action, 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 action. During COVID, we stopped for a little while. The whole world quietened a little bit for like a year and a half, maybe, and everything has gone back to normal, like nothing ever changed, and we didn't learn the joy of being quiet. And rajas is so pervasive in the world that we live in. It is but natural that our tapas is also going to be rajasic. It is so pervasive in the world that we live in that everyone is engaged in rajas, 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 rajas. And that rajas, it reflects in our shraddha also. So rajasic tapas is, I mean, it has its benefits. You get money and you get name and you get fame and you get all the things that people are getting nowadays, right? But what you don't get is peace. What you don't get is cheerfulness. What you don't get is happiness. You just put the poster child, I'm calling it poster child, of of any achiever in any field. Big shot, any big shot in any field who has really achieved a lot by doing a lot of things, doing a lot of tapas. What is their life like? Perfect on paper, miserable inside. That is the greatest result that Rajasic tapas can give you wonderful results outside, but you're left just worse off inside. Because people expect you now to be happy because you have everything you worked for. But it doesn't work like that. Huh? So keeping that in mind, we should see there is a benefit to Rajasic tapas. We should see, more than the results of Rajasic tapas, I want the results of Sattvic tapas. Unless you're ready to want those results, I think we'll stay only in our Rajasic tapas. Okay, now something interesting I want everyone to think about. Is it possible to practice tapas at the level of body, speech, and mind in a sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic way? Like, is it possible to do tapas of the body as described in this chapter in a tamasic way? Is it possible? Okay, let's take speech as an example. I'll give you an example through speech. Well, see, speech is unagitating. Speech means supposed to be unagitating, supposed to be truthful, supposed to be loving, supposed to be beneficial. All of these, for it to constitute as tapas of speech, I have to have met all four criteria. Okay, take sattvic. Sattvic tapas is tapas that is not desiring any result, that is integrated, and that is, what was the first one? Done with Shraddha. Is it possible to practice speech tapas in a sattvic way? Yeah. Not a rocket science question. Yes, very, very possible. Okay, now see, Rajasic tapas, a person is looking for results, their own benefit. Rajas is all about what I'm going to get. Huh? So now if I'm thinking about what I am going to get, and I'm thinking about my benefit, then that means I'm not thinking about the other person's benefit. True or false? The focus is my benefit. So if I'm not thinking about the other person's benefit and I'm thinking about my benefit, can I be practicing tapas of speech? Hitam is gone. Or if I'm being honest, for the result of having reputation, then I'm not being honest for honesty's sake. There's a benefit to me again. Like that. So then you have to think, okay, so really speaking, someone who's rajasic cannot truly practice tapas of speech. What about tamasic? Well, tamasic intention is to hurt another person, destroy another person. Then where's the priyam? Where's the hitam? Satyam also won't be there. Uh, Definitely not anudvega karam. It's definitely agitating. So you see, you cannot have a person who's doing tamasic tapas practicing tapas of speech as it's meant to be practiced. So so then you can't so then it wouldn't work. I want everyone to think about each tapas at the level of body, speech, and mind. And I want everyone to think about whether it is possible to practice sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic tapas for those things. So that's the discussion for now. I'm going to send you all into groups because I can move on and then it will just remain, oh, yes, yes. There's these, and then there's these, and I know what they are. But let's think a little bit before we move. Okay, everyone here ready to think? I gave one example, but now there's body, so many things in body, so many things in mind. So I'll send you into groups and I'll give you all like 12 minutes. So you'll need your Bhagavad Gita to see the previous verses to see what the different types of tapas are and what. Okay, let me send you guys. Those whose videos are off, um, I jokingly say, but I might become serious one day, you'll be banished to Facebook. Except today we're not streaming on Facebook. Okay, let me send you all to break up. Okay. Everyone, please participate.